All right, so I'm going to use my account, but yours will behave exactly the same way. You go to our website, you log in up here on the right. And you'll have a dashboard. I think you just have one course. You'll
Right.
have the negotiation course. So you click Manage Courses and View Sections. And you had a second section. I got that cleaned up. So you just have one section.
So the management course is 434.
Okay. Well, now I'm in my account. I'm not logged in as you.
Okay.
So you're just seeing mine. Are you going to skip any chapters?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I just found out yesterday, in anticipation of meeting you, that the guy who was heading up these online courses has had a medical situation and is now retired, and they put put this in the lap of the assistant dean. So I went to the assistant dean and said, like, I have no idea, like, when this course starts, how many weeks it is, yada, yada, yada. So I got the schedule. So this is going to be an 8-week course.
Okay.
So basically, I'm going to do the first week, I'm going to do the introduction and 2 chapters. And then every other week for the 8 weeks, I'm going to do 2 chapters. So that brings us to the end of the 8 weeks. So my window is the 20th of January to the last day of class, which is the 16th of March.
Okay.
So I need to put my assignments in that window.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So we're not going to remove any chapters. So I'm going to skip that part. Are you going, every chapter has a quiz and a drag and drop activity. Are you going to use those for every chapter?
I will shift around. Like, I might use a drag and drop for the one and use a, writing an answer to a question
Yep.
on another one. So I'd like to be able to mix them up.
Okay.
Quizzes, I'd like to give them one quiz that would cover 2 chapters. So can I do that?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So what?
Like every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, so like every Friday or every at the end of every week, at the end of 2 chapters, they get a quiz on the 2 chapters that they covered.
Okay, got it. So I think the fastest way to set that up, I'm still on the section page here, is to go to assignments, this blue button, or green button. I'm a little colorblind today. And here.
Oh, so I can activate a drag and drop or a quiz.
Right, right. Actually, I've just misled you for the first time in our call. What I want to do instead is edit the course.
Oh, okay.
So I clicked on the little gear icon up there. So it sounds like we have a chapter quiz per chapter. It kind of sounds like you're going to want to hide all of those and create a quiz every 2 chapters, right?
Right.
So next to each of the quizzes, I'm going to click Edit,
right,
Hide.
Okay.
And I can do all of them right here. Might as well, since well, actually, this isn't your course, so that's not going to help you. But that's what you're going to do to hide the existing quizzes. And then if you want to intermittently, like if you want to skip the drag and drop for chapter 1, you hide it. And then if you want to keep it for chapter 2, you don't do anything.
Got it.
And you would do the same thing. We've got the discussion boards built in. If you don't want to use those, you just use the hide trigger here to get rid of those. So,
I love the way you have it that you read page 20 before contributing, read page 40.
good.
I love that.
Oh, thanks. All right. So, the best way to add a quiz then is to go to the course. So I'm going to click on the green button up here, and your first quiz is going to be after chapter 2.
Well, let's just, for argument's sake, let's do chapter 1. We'll do a quiz after chapter 1.
Okay. Well, if you're going to use a quiz after chapter 1, you might as well use the one that we already built,
Right.
because it's already done for you. But if you're going to do a quiz that covers a couple of chapters, then you just click add an activity.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's a quiz or a test, we call it a quiz.
Right.
Add that. And then here, so a couple of extra steps the first time you set up the course. Good news is later when you teach this course again, you can copy all this so you don't have to do it a second time.
But you'll have to change the dates.
Right, that's the only thing, but you can do those all in one place later. It's really a lot faster. The thing that you've got to do a first time, though, is decide the question behavior. So, do you want students to see their results right away when they take a quiz, or do you want to postpone the results until everybody's taking the quiz?
I want to postpone the results until the due date.
Okay, so you need to change this to deferred feedback. And when you do that, and if you want to only have it work
After the quiz is closed.
Yeah, so you've got to go through and uncheck these little boxes here. And then it will only, the scores will only appear after the quiz is closed. So sadly, you have to do that for each one of your quizzes the first time you.
Can you just scroll back up to where you were clicking? So you unclicked after quiz is closed, you unclick that, or those are all clicked?
These are all clicked.
Okay. Because they're dark in the other ones and they're
Yeah,
shadowy.
let me get rid of these guys. There we go. But when you do deferred feedback, it's going to postpone it to this last after the quiz is closed.
Got it. That's the
and then you also want to decide how many attempts.
one on the quiz, one.
Okay. And then where is my? Do you want to put a time limit?
Yeah. Is there a recommended time?
Well, it depends on how many questions you're asking.
I have to look at the quiz to see how many questions there are.
Yeah. Timing. Oh, here it is. Time limit. So I would click enable. It depends on the difficulty and number of quizzes, how many minutes you want to give them, but it's probably the easiest way to keep people from sharing is to put a time limit.
Yeah, well, that's like, I would do like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But if there are 30 questions, I might make it 25 minutes, you know what I mean?
Right. All right, so those are the settings for this assignment. I'm going to save and display. Oh, I need to give it a name. Okay, and now it's time to edit the quiz. I edited the settings, but now we want to edit the quiz itself. When I click on that, it's small relative to its significance, but you want to look for the add button over here. And when you click that, you can either write your own question. So we've got formats for multiple choice, true, false, matching.
Essay, I see. Got it.
But the fastest thing to do is pick them from the question bank, which is the second one here.
Oh, so I can create the amount of questions.
Say that again?
So if I go to the test bank, I can pull out 10 questions, let's say.
Exactly. So
Now,
from this,
does this automatically grade?
it does.
Okay.
Yeah, anything you pull from the test banks, or even if you create your own question, it'll automatically grade and go to your grade book.
Oh, because you put the answer in as well.
Yep.
Okay.
So key thing here, you can either, well, we've got the quizzes here, but they're already in the chapter. So you know, if you're not going to use those, you probably want to create your own one. And
No,
so,
I'm gonna for this course, this first time out, I'm gonna use what's been created already.
okay.
That way I can, I know that if I run into difficulty, I will always be able to get help.
Yeah, yeah. So if you're going to do one quiz for covering 2 chapters, you're going to want to create a new one. And so if you're covering, the quiz is going to cover chapters 1 and 2.
You know what? Maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quiz at the end of every chapter.
Oh, okay. Then,
That seems a lot easier.
yeah, we've already got them built. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's skip this then.
I have a question. I saw earlier when you were scrolling, there were like parts, and one of the parts was mini video or video, it's something video.
Yeah.
Are there videos already created for this?
Yeah, there are. So let's just go to a chapter. Every chapter is going to have a mini lecture video.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll.
Negotiation has a basic language. Learning this basic language helps to understand.
So that's going to go through the key principles of the chapter. They're on average like 4 to 5 minutes a chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've also got the PowerPoints, flashcards, and then the quizzes. If you want to turn any of these off, you just click on the eyeball next to it.
So I can click off on the mini lecture and put my lecture in there.
Yeah, yeah. So
can I record on this? Like, can I record my lecture in that slot, or do I just need to go to like Camtasia and record it there?
yeah, you'll want to use Camtasia. In fact, that's what I use when I do these. And then once you save that file, like I did with the quiz, you just use the blue button to add an activity. And this time, instead of a quiz, you're going to add a file.
Okay.
And then when you do, it's going to prompt you for the location. And you're going to just either drag it here where this arrow is, or click on it, and it'll, you'll use your file management on your laptop or your computer to upload it.
Okay.
And you give it a name, and once you do, it's going to appear in that chapter.
Okay. Okay, I think that they were going to want the video recordings, because this is going to integrate with Blackboard. I think they're going to want the Camtasia recordings on a separate link, so I can hide the mini lecture.
Yeah. Okay.
Or I could leave the mini lecture as just reinforcing.
Yeah, it's probably not going to contradict anything you do, but if at any point you decide to hide any of this,
Just click on the eye.
Yeah. Now the only thing you have to do to get the eye is up here under the gear. You want turn editing. Right now it's on. If I turn that off, the eyeballs go away. So you just click on that gear, turn it on, and now you can hide things.
Okay, got it.
So so yeah, that's really everything you need to know to get started.
Okay, so are there, outside of the quiz, are there homework assignments, or is that left to the discussion board?
Really what we have in here are the discussion boards and these drag and drops. The drag and drops all cover like 4 or 5 concepts. You've got to apply key terms. So they take longer than just a single question. Mm-hmm. Everything else about this book, though, is kind of group or discussion oriented. Mm-hmm. So you might want to create additional discussion questions if, I forget, is there any class session for this?
No, it's all online.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to have to be, it's going to have to be the facilitator that reads these.
Yep.
So I'm going to hold off on the discussion. I'm going to activate that after I know what the enrollment is, because they already he told me yesterday that if they have too much, they're going to open up a second section.
Okay.
So managing a discussion board with a ton of people is going to be difficult.
Yeah, yeah, right. Okay. So I'd say get started at that. And, as you create assignments, I would say you're on that page to do the settings. You might as well put the dates in. But if you forget any or later you want to change them, you just go to this assignments page and you can change all your dates right here without having to go back through the whole course again.
Okay. So I can set the homework from day one, let's say, of the chapter and close it on the before the quiz.
Yeah.
So, and then the quiz, and then after the quiz, you go to the next chapter.
Right.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to map this out on the calendar.
Yeah, I usually do the same thing. I pencil it out and then just type the dates in once I'm certain.
Okay. So when we integrate this, when we integrate this into Blackboard, there'll just be a separate link to get to this platform.
What'll happen is your assignments will show up in Blackboard as if you put them there natively. And when your students click on the first assignment, they'll be redirected to register, and they'll use the code that comes with the book. And once
where do they get the book?
They can either, do you have a campus bookstore that works with your online students?
Well, can I just get a link directly to buy it from Chicago?
Yeah,
I'm going to ask the students to buy it in advance.
Yep. So I'll just send you the URL for the purchase page. They can either get the print book with the code, or there's an ebook with access to the course. So either one, when they go to do your first assignment, they'll be prompted to enter that code. And then once they do, they're in. And they just keep going back to your Blackboard course for all the assignments. They never have to log in again.
Okay, so so this is like MindTap.
I don't know enough about MindTap.
MindTap is a Cengage platform, and it's sort of the same thing. The first time they click on it, it goes directly to having them make a choice between what one they want, and then it takes them to the payment page.
Yeah. We do the same thing. If there's a third option, if a student didn't buy the ebook from us or didn't buy the print book, they can buy it in the process of registering.
Okay. So how long does it usually take for the paper book to get to them once they order?
We ship them same day, and so it depends on where they are. UPS Ground is usually 2 days. Most places we're here, we ship them from Chicago to the West Coast. It might be 3 or 4 days.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell them from January 4th to January 14th is the time that they must have their books ordered, because come January 20th, the first day of class, they're going to need their book.
That's fair?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling them. That's what I'm telling them.
Okay, I'll send you a link to the purchase page as soon as we're done here.
Yeah, I got to put that in the syllabus.
Okay. And then it'll take a couple of minutes for the video from our call to compress, and then I'll send you that as well.
Okay.
All right.
I can bother you if I need some assistance?
Absolutely, anytime.
Okay, so I'm telling the students that this is $50.
So the print, it nets for 50 to, it nets for 49 to the bookstore. Let me find, let's actually get to the page. So the retail
It's
is 63.70. The ebook and course is 50. I think it's 59. I'll get you that number. I just don't have it handy.
Okay. Oh, I see. So you can, for instructors. Okay. Can I get a copy of the loose leaf?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that would be great. Then I don't have to schlep the whole book around with me.
All right, we'll do.
And okay, so they go to so the ebook is 59 and the printed text is 63, but both come with the course access.
That's right.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
All right. I'll send you a couple of things in a few minutes, and then, yeah, give me a shout if you need any help.
Perfect. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Seth.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.